me to do laundry. Today starts my baking series. I'm so excited. Today and tomorrow I'm going to be working on sugar cookies. So I've already picked out 4 new recipes that I want to try. Plus I'm going to do my original one. My original one, I'm actually going to cut the dough in half and I'm going to make 1 original and 1 confetti. And then I found 4 on Pinterest that I really want to try out this year. So I picked out maple sugar cookies, pumpkin spice, spiced apple, and peanut butter. Actually, the peanut butter one, I already tried this recipe and it was really good. It's really hard to cut out though. The dough does not require any chilling, but I'm going to chill it anyway because the rest of my doughs require chill and I don't plan on baking them until tomorrow. So they're going to go in the refrigerator even though it says not to. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It's a good learning experience for all of us. For my recipe, for my original cookie dough, I am going to be making a short and I'm going to post that separately. And I'll link that in the video for you guys so that if you guys do want the full recipe for my recipe, you guys can get it on there. But for the rest of them, I'm just going to link the Pinterest ones down below in the description box. Oh, and one more thing, if you guys could do me the tiniest favor, if you are new here, please consider subscribing if you like content like this. I bake all of the time, not in every video. Every video that I do is a little bit different. I am a mom. I do a lot of homemaking content, but I do also do a lot of baking videos and other types of videos that you might be interested in. So please subscribe and hit that notification bell and it will remind you every time I post a video. Also, if you could please hit that like button, it would really help me out. Thank you so much for all of your support and I appreciate all of you. So no time to waste, let's go! Okay, so the first recipe that I'm going to try is the maple sugar cookies. And now that I'm looking through the ingredients, I am missing the maple extract. I don't have that. I do have rum extract. I also have vanilla, and I do have maple syrup. So for shiggles, I'm going to try out rum extract and see how that works out, hopefully well. But if you are ever so curious to know what the ingredient list is, it calls for 14 tablespoons of unsalted butter, so pretty much 2 full sticks, but you take off 2 tablespoons. A half a cup of white sugar, a half a cup of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, 2 teaspoons of maple extract. I'm going to use rum. 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 large egg, a half a teaspoon of salt, and 360 grams of all-purpose flour. If you don't have a food scale, use 2 3/4 cups of flour. I think that would probably be your best bet. But if you have a food scale, I'd probably suggest doing that. To just combine all of the flour all at once. So it must not be a very touchy recipe. It seems pretty simple and easy so far. And I'm just going to put it on low. It says to use a hand mixer, but I'm using my stand mixer because I don't have a hand mixer. And I'm just going to do it low. It says to mix it until it's crumbly and a soft dough forms. It should be soft and slightly sticky, but still manageable. So yeah, it's very sticky but soft. So we'll see how it is when I pull it out. Oh, I missed some. I'm gonna use my favorite dome-shaped scraper to get all of this dough, including any residual flour, out of there. It doesn't say to knead it, so I'm just gonna mix it up in the bowl like that. I'm just like tossing it just to get all of the flour incorporated. I am so tempted to get that flour right there and put it in this dough because my OCD is killing me, but I'm not gonna do that. It is a very sticky dough. Tomorrow I'll probably have to use flour to roll it out. Okay, so I'm using an edible marker, so try not to touch it, but I have to label them. I could use sticky notes, but I'm just using an edible marker. So next I'm going to work on the pumpkin spice cutout cookies, but first I need to wash my standing mixer bowl and paddle. Okay, so while that is drying, I'm gonna go ahead and read out the ingredients. You're gonna need 3 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. It says freshly grated if possible. I don't have freshly grated, but I have nutmeg. 1/4 teaspoon of allspice, 1 cup of butter, so 1 cup is 2 sticks. 2/3 cup of granulated white sugar, 1/3 cup of brown sugar, light or dark. So as always, it says to mix the sugar and the butter together and beat it until it's fluffy. So I'm just going to do that real quick. 1 egg and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, the best quality you can get. I can only afford the Watkins vanilla, pure vanilla extract, the baking vanilla. It's supposed to be really rich in flavor. This is the one that I use the most. And 1/4 cup canned pumpkin puree, which I do have. Oh, that smells so good. It's funny because I heard somewhere that the pumpkin pie filling or the pumpkin puree that comes in a can isn't really pumpkin puree, it's like squash. But on the can it says pumpkin. So this only calls for 1/4 cup of pumpkin, but I'm not gonna throw away the rest of this pumpkin. I have another recipe that I'm gonna use it for sometime later this week. So I'm just gonna transfer it into another container. That way it stays fresh and put it back in the refrigerator. I'm really hoping that it's supposed to look like this. It looks like it kind of separated a bit, but I'm just gonna continue mixing it until all of the butter is combined. It says to mix it on low and gradually add your flour until it's all combined. And incorporate it until the mixture begins to ball up and pull away from the sides of the bowl. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so this one also says to divide it into 2, but I'm just gonna do it in 1. And you're supposed to flatten it and let it chill for 30 minutes, but being that I'm gonna bake it up tomorrow, I'm just gonna put it all in 1 big lump and just chill it like how I normally do. It says to knead it a little bit just to mix in any like butter or pumpkin. So I'm just gonna do that. Okay, so we only have 2 left. We are breezing by. I have the spiced apple cutout recipe. I just want to throw this out there real quick. I use imperial butter or margarine instead of butter because I live in an area where I work on propane and I'm kind of high elevation. So if I use real butter, it kind of separates and makes my cookies really greasy. and I always have an issue with my cakes rising when I use real butter, so I swap it out for Imperial. So the whole thing requires 2 sticks of butter or 1 cup of unsalted butter, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 3 packets of Alpine, oh it says Alpine spiced apple cider mix, 2 tablespoons of apple butter. I'm using the Charlie Brown Farms apple butter, but I'm only using this because I want to get rid of the jar. I don't really care for the taste of this on its own. The Smucker's brand is way better, but this does do well in baking. I've made apple bars with it and it was delicious, so I'm going to use this. And then 3 cups of all-purpose flour. So already I could tell this is a dump and go kind of recipe, which is my kind of recipe. It seems like it's going to be easy and fail-proof, so we'll see how this goes. Yes, it smells very apple, like a lot of apple. I want to taste it. Oh, that's good. It kind of reminds me of like a caramel apple. Ooh, that's really good. Okay, we made it to our last recipe. I told you earlier that I've made this recipe before. I'm going to tell you that it is hard to handle. It's not an easy cookie to deal with because it is kind of like a dry cookie, so it breaks a lot. But we're going to try this again, and hopefully this time around it's not as hard as it was the last time. This one, I think I mentioned earlier too, that this one is not supposed to be chilled. This one is supposed to be cut and baked right away, but I am going to chill it. But tomorrow when I go to bake, I'm going to have it sitting out on my countertop until it comes all the way up to room temperature. The waft of that peanut butter. I'm not really much of a peanut butter fan, but honestly these cookies were really good, and I didn't think they were going to taste good, but they were good. They're a really good cookie. Okay, so to save myself from having to measure it out in the measuring cup, I'm just going to measure it on my scale at 340 grams. That's what a cup and a half of peanut butter equals out to. cookies, and I'll be out baking up a storm up in here, up in here. Quarter teaspoon of baking powder doesn't seem like very much. So the dough is not coming off of the sides of the bowl, so I don't like how that looks. So I'm going to put in a 1/4 cup of flour and see if that helps. Although, maybe I don't want to add too much flour to it, because last time it was so dry, it was really hard for me to cut it out. I had to cut it out one by one. I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, that's it. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. All I'm going to do now is pop these into the freezer, or not freezer, the refrigerator, and they're going to stay in there overnight until I work on them tomorrow. And I will be cutting them out and baking them, so if you want to come back tomorrow to watch that, please do so. I would normally do it all in one video, but because this is Vlogmas and I'm doing a vlog each day, it's going to wait until tomorrow, since that's when I'm going to be cutting them out. But don't forget, I do have a short video up, so if you guys want to see my original recipe, my tried and true all-time favorite sugar cookie recipe that's easy to cut out, fail-proof, and easy to decorate, then click on my shorts video. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Let's see if it's a chocolate bar.
You think it's going to be a chocolate bar this time?
Yeah. No. Yeah. A chocolate bar.
You think it's going to be a ball?
Yeah.
Let's see who's right.
I'm right.
Oh, it's a bar. It's milk chocolate.
It's milk.
Those pine cones smell like cinnamon over here, huh?
Yeah.
You smell it? Merry Christmas.